morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go.
Every morning when I get up, jet fuel in a coffee cup.
Wake up with Adam and Jen in the morning. Wake up. 94.9 The Wolf.
Warren Ziders, Pretty Little Poison, playing everything country. 94.9 The Wolf, 8:10 on this Friday morning. It's Adam, it's Jen, joined by Faith Martin. Yay! Our very own Faith Martin, live in studio from last night's Golden Bachelor, The Women Tell All. You are here with us.
So fun to see you again. I feel like I've missed y'all so much. And, when I come in, I don't see you because you guys are already gone. And then
we're gone.
Yeah, but it's good to be here. Good to be back with you guys. And you've been keeping up with all of it, apparently.
We have.
Yeah.
I don't know how we couldn't keep up with this. For those of you that don't know, or maybe that are just listening, the Golden Bachelor on ABC, Gerry was the gentleman's name. And he was vying.
Are we allowed to say his name now?
I think everything's out.
We're gonna say.
I don't mean that. It's like the name that should not be said.
See, and I'm gonna kind of play on Gary's side because I feel for Gerry as well as I feel
Adam's
for Faith.
Anymore too.
I feel for Faith. I feel for Gerry.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get into more of that.
A lot of feels going on
there
in
is.
this show, right? Just so much.
But welcome back home, I guess.
Thank you.
And last night's episode, oh boy. What an episode.
Right? Yeah.
Jen and I were talking last night. If you're going to wear an outfit to show a man that he messed up,
right?
Last night's outfit was the outfit.
They're calling it the revenge dress. And can I tell you the story behind that dress, too?
Yes,
because
please.
it's not quite... So I was in California when I bought that dress, and I got to tell you, when all the ladies would go shopping, me, Jen. I'm not a shopper. I'm like, no, I'll get a coffee and a book, and I'll sit in the corner. You guys shop away. I hate shopping for clothes. Not doing it.
Yeah.
And then I had made it further in the show, and so it was like, when we go on dates, what would I think Gerry would like? And so I ended up buying this dress. But the story of this dress was I was in Bloomingdale's, and it's an Hervé of Paris dress. It's a very expensive dress. And I mean, way more expensive than I've ever spent. And the only expensive things I buy are horse products. So I was like, okay, the gal at Bloomingdale's, so sweet. And she talks me into this dress, and it's a small. I put it on, and it fits really well. And I'm like, gosh, the small was too big. It's just the way the dress runs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Too big. So she says, I think we're going to put you in an extra small. And I'm like, really? And they squeeze you into it. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. So there was a little snag on it. And she said, oh my, okay, we can't have that. Let me get you another one. Gotcha. So we get to the counter, we ring it up. She wraps it up for me. I never open up that wrapping, and because I never wore the dress, I ended up going home. I never take it out of the wrapping until I get in LA and I'm ready to go on the Women Tell All. And I'm like, I must have gained weight. Can somebody help me? It's an extra, extra small.
Oh, no.
I'm like, are you friggin' kidding me?
No.
So I'm telling the people, can you tie up the back, my boobs, which normally, which want to sit on my lap. I'm like, can we tie these babies up? And can you do something? Because literally I'm falling out of this dress.
Yeah.
And
sure.
I don't know if they realize the predicament, but it's the only dress I have in there.
Wow.
And so they're like, we're at Warner Brothers,
right?
They're like, okay, let's do it. So I used Stephanie's hair tie. Then they tied up the back. So I'm thinking, okay, we're okay. We're okay.
Crazy.
I have nipple covers. But then I go,
I love it.
Then while I'm watching last night, I'm so distracted going, my boob is like right there.
Yeah.
Like right there.
Yeah.
I was horrified.
So was every other man in America.
Yeah.
Her boob is right there.
Look at
right there.
Yeah.
Just sneeze, Faith. Just sneeze.
That was Gerry was saying the same thing when he walked out.
I was horrified. I was so horrified. And I got to tell you, though, it's so funny because watching it last night, then my sweetest neighbor, I have like the best neighbors in the whole wide world. I've always been blessed with nice neighbors. And as soon as the show's over, she's like, can I come hug you? So we met in the street and she hugged me. She's like crying. And I'm like,
It was an emotional episode for a lot of people.
So hard.
Not just for fans of yours.
Right.
And there's a lot of them out there. Trust me, they're watching, they're checking in. Fans of yours, fans of the show, fans of Gerry. Everybody felt last night's episode to the point where it was like, I got messages like, did you see that look in Gary's eyes? Like he might be second guessing his decisions and this sort of stuff. The way you guys embraced and held and cried. It was emotional for a lot of us too. Yeah. But right now, when was the last time you talked to him? I know. Did you talk? Have you talked to him since the episode?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say.
Okay, that's fine. And
I
that's
don't
fine.
know. I don't know. What I want to say is this, is that the connection that Gerry and I had was the most soul-felt connection, like different than what I had ever experienced. You know, you guys know me too well. Mine are all about the chemistry, you know?
Yeah.
This was such a beautiful connection that we had. I think that I trust Gerry in the sense that he is super wise. He knows what he needs in his life.
Yeah.
And so I was fully supportive in his decision if that's what it was going to be. But that doesn't stop the feelings that
Absolutely.
we just were so bound and so connected. And I just love the guy to death. And in my eyes, the way I'm hurting for him because I know these were difficult decisions that he had to make and him going forward having to make those hard decisions. I mean, you got to remember, he grew up in Indiana. He was married to the same woman for 47 years.
Yeah.
You get with 22 beautiful women that are literally throwing themselves at him.
Yeah.
And, you know, the guy's only human. So anything going forward that you see on the show, I just have to say the guy is got to be one of the most, if not... you know, I can only think of one other person as lovely as Gerry that I've ever met in my whole entire life. So his intention is so pure and so wonderful. There's just no way you can have
Can I just say that
feelings.
this is exactly why you are the fan favorite.
Oh, I don't know that I'm the fan
You
favorite.
are. I mean, if you go through, and this is not just biased because we love you so much. It's honestly, if you go through and you watch and read everything that gets put out, it is faith.
Oh,
People
that's
love
so
you.
sweet.
And we try to explain to people, we were talking about it the other day. I said, you guys don't understand. The Faith you see on that show is exactly who she is. This is how she shows up for people
100%.
in real
100%.
life. There
It's so
is no
sweet.
fakeness there.
Well, you know what? Okay, so it's so funny because as soon as the show started, people kept going, "You're so genuine, you're so authentic." And I looked at my son, I go, "What do they mean?
What do they
Because
mean?
What did I miss the memo that we could be somebody other than who we
Yeah,
are? Because
yeah.
I don't know how to do it different,
Right.
And so I'm like, what do they mean? Isn't everyone authentic? Isn't everyone just? You know, like, but how do you not? What does that mean? Like, how do you
most
not
people
be
just
who you
go
are?
to impress other people, right? So they
It's true.
do what they think somebody else wants them to do, show up how they think that person wants them to, and that's not you. I mean, and
No.
we know that that's not you because
good
we've
or
known
bad,
you for
right?
so
Right,
long.
correct.
And
Yeah.
you accept all of it, though. And that's the thing I think is great, which is why people fell in love with you. And the fact that you are so genuine with the fact that this is real life.
Yeah.
These were real feelings. This isn't a production. I mean, yes, it's a show,
Yeah.
but the feelings are real. But you having the ability to separate out your heart and your head and say, I have to respect him for who he is and
absolutely.
the position that he's in. I had my feelings, he had his feelings, but here's where we're at now. And yourself being okay with it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I mean, I had a gamut of emotions, and
course.
some of them were "screw you, Gerry,"
Yeah.
and some of it was, you know, I'm just shattered, and part of it was, you know, me. I went through everything.
Yeah.
The weird part about it all is that I honestly, it took a really long time for my analytical brain and my emotions to become aligned. So I was like, yes, I get it. I'll be fine. You know, that's the survivor in me. And from the night that I left, I'm like, okay, you know, I go great in crisis mode. I go calm, I go numb in crisis mode.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I'm complete meltdown, right?
That's
and
me.
so then, you know, that's the mom in us,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
So then, you know, days later, and, you know, it just the fact that I go, I'm good. I'm feeling fine today. I'm just fine. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know why I was being such a baby. I'm good. This is all going to be fine. And then 24 hours later, I'm like, yeah. So the strangest part is that how does that happen in a month? I want to smack myself upside the head. Like,
In a
what
month,
is-
exactly.
What is wrong with you? It's been a month. Boom. I
Yeah.
want to smack myself. Get a grip on yourself. And then I'm like, you know, no, it's my heart is so invested. And I think that when it boiled down to it, because I had to analyze it, because this is what I do too, when it boils down to it, how often when we date, do we really get to that soul connection and create that type of intimacy that quickly? No, you go on a million coffee dates or wine dates, and you're talking about circumstantial
Absolutely.
crap, right?
Right.
So you don't really ever get there. And then you wonder, Jen, because you're single too, you get it. You're like, do I really want to put mascara on to see that guy again? Like, I don't know if I want to get dressed and leave the house. Right? So you think, okay, what's wrong with you? You don't like him because you really don't want to. It's like, I've even told guys I've dated 3 or 4 times, I'm like, can't we both just admit this isn't really anything? And they're like, what?
What?
And I'm like, no, I don't want to get dressed for you. I'm sorry, you're a nice guy, but really, like, I think if we really liked each other, we'd care more about getting there, right?
This is part of the reason why Faith and I were fast friends, is that our personalities are very similar when it came to dating, and that we just didn't get attached to people very easily at all. But there is something to be said that when there's a soul connection with somebody, I'm learning. It doesn't take much time if it's supposed to be that person.
I think if it's intentive, or if your intention is to really get to that deep, intimate thing, which on the show, there's not a lot of time to waste. You get down to the nitty gritty right away.
Sure.
So you're right from day one. You're like really expressing some deep feelings, and you start learning that soul connection thing, and just really getting down to it. So you do create deep feelings right away, and it's pretty amazing.
Faith Martin in studio with us this morning. Golden Bachelor, the Women Tell All episode last night. We're going to come back more with Faith next. All right, back in studio with Faith Martin from last night's Golden Bachelor episode, the Women Tell All. We do have to talk about your entrance at the beginning of the season.
Yes, the famous hair toss.
You know what?
The
It was tough
toss?
for me is I'm watching, okay, this woman, that's not Faith. That woman, that's not Faith.
Yep.
I'm like, where's
Where
my
is she?
girl?
Yeah.
Where is she? And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, no, she didn't.
Everybody was talking about saving the best for last. You got the first impression rose after that, the Harley. So much fun. And that's you, though. That's you rolling in.
Yeah. Well,
That's
you know
awesome.
what the funny thing is, too, is because I said if I'm going to be in California for possibly up to a month, I have to bring my guitar, because I'll never survive. You know me. I'm just like, I have a bad day. I got to write about it and sing. I was like the sappiest person on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
So when we were trying to figure out what to do for the entrance, I'm like, they said, what is the most like you? And I said, singing, guitar, because it's what I've spent my life doing. But they were like, we noticed you had a motorcycle endorsement. Do you still have that? And I'm like, I do. And I used to ride a 95 Giant Road King, but I said, I literally haven't ridden for years. And they went, let's
How
think
would you
about
like
that
to-
one.
yeah.
So they were like, if we get you a bike, do you want to ride it? And I'm like, sure, I guess. So then it was like, well, what dress can I wear that I can hike up to my waist without, And,
Without showing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had to, ride a bike I've never ridden before, when I haven't ridden for years, and then do it in a dress and try to get on and off gracefully.
Right.
And then
it could have gone real
really
bad.
And then
bad.
not have
Could've gone real
helmet
bad.
hair.
Yeah, and not have helmet hair. And then also, I was trying to get off the bike. You'll relate to this because you ride.
Yep.
I had to get that kickstand. And so you have to kind of lean the bike a little bit to get the kickstand. I burnt my leg. So real
On the
bad.
exhaust pipe?
On the
I've
exhaust
done that.
pipe.
I've done that.
So I still have the scar to, So
That's your Golden Bachelor memory.
Yeah. And the one thing they said was,
scar.
Faith, when you get off the bike, just give us a good head toss, and collect yourself before you walk up. And I'm like, okay. So I do it big, So I'm like that. When I saw the GIF, I was like, that's
it's
great.
everywhere.
It could be a shampoo commercial.
Absolutely.
I honestly thought, because at the end, that's when you came in, and I was irritated that they made me wait
waited-
that long
yeah.
to
Oh,
see
man.
you. I really thought you were going to come in on a horse.
Yeah,
Is
I
really
thought
what
about
I
that. Would've been
thought
another
would
one.
have been
Yeah, I
like
didn't
that.
think
But
about
then
that.
when the motorcycle, and I just thought, that's... You know what I mean? That shows up so different than anybody else has.
did it
No
ever?
woman has ever
I
come in
don't
on a
know.
motorcycle.
I
See,
loved
and
it because every woman in that building, what is that? What's that noise? What is
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
They were all wondering what's going on. And they're like, oh man, they were all going, we're in trouble.
Right.
We got a gal that just rolled up on a motorcycle.
I had a hard time getting out of the limo.
Now, you were the lucky one chosen to go on this epic date.
Oh,
This
my gosh.
ultimate epic date where it starts with you getting in a great Bronco, top down, California sun, going on a ride. Then you pull up to a helicopter.
I know, it's
You're
crazy.
freaking out at this point.
I am because, the only other time I've been in a helicopter, and I've done a lot of daring things, I'm terrified of heights.
Yeah.
I did a tour around the Tri-Cities once in a helicopter.
Okay,
They
yep.
had no doors.
Yep.
And all I was in a seatbelt. I seriously, I was going to lose it. I was like terrified. Never been in a helicopter since. So I see that helicopter and I'm like, oh, crud.
Oh, man.
I don't know how I'm going to feel about this, but it was so lovely and so out of this world to be flying over the hills
Yeah.
of California and over the ocean and through the office buildings. It's like if I would have seen Spider-Man on the building, it wouldn't have seemed odd.
Yeah, you'd have been like, okay, we're up
it
here.
was
Yeah.
so over the top.
Sure.
And then landing on that yacht, and the wind is blowing, and the ocean has got
You
all
can
these
tell.
caps, and
Yeah.
I'm like, this could go terribly wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I'm picturing the something hooking on the side, and you know, right
Into the water, you guys
exactly,
go. Next thing you know,
exactly. So you notice I was like holding my breath. I was just paralyzed in the moment. You know, it took me a while to just, and then you know we're screaming,
And then you get off and you're excited.
oh my gosh. And the sea air and the smell, and my most favorite thing in the whole wide world, I know this will sound odd, is I call it diamonds on the water, where the sun sparkles on the water just perfectly. So that was there, and then the smell of the sea air and the breeze and this handsome, wonderful man next to me. And then they gave us ice cold champagne, and I was like, I am in heaven. Right?
This is something a girl could get used to.
I think I said that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. It was just so romantic and so fun. And
a hot tub, and a little bit of fun there
It
too
was
as well.
so
Did you guys? So
beautiful.
did the helicopter? You get off the helicopter? Or did the boat take you back to the dock, or
so
what?
we got, well, all of a sudden the helicopter flew away, and I'm
Yeah,
like, how are we getting back?
Yeah.
But then we just took the ship or the yacht
Back
back,
to the
to the
docks.
marina.
Nice.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. And then we were standing there with our arms around each other. So much got edited out, right?
Right.
So,
I
but
can't
we're
imagine how
standing
much.
there, and they're letting us have some more time together. So we're talking about all kinds of things, and all these people are crowded around down below on the wharf going, give her the rose, give her the rose.
Oh, that's awesome.
So sweet. And then when we're having all those intimate conversations, you know, on the ship, all these party boats are driving around. I think they're flashing people and there's music going.
Yeah, that's California
A
for you, I
couple of
guess.
times I was thinking, this is a tad bit distracting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it was a beautiful date.
Faith Martin, Golden Bachelor. Real quick, we're going to take a quick break again. Come back, more with Faith. We'll wrap that up and, of course, get some insight into what holds the future holds
got
for
some
you, I
questions.
guess. Jen's got some
I got some
questions as well.
questions,
so
like real questions.
Nice. We'll come back. Faith Martin live in studio this morning. All right, back live in studio. Our very own Faith Martin in the afternoon, joining us in the morning because we're recapping last night's Golden Bachelor episode, where unfortunately
A lot of different locations
Found
at one
out,
time.
yeah. She's a
Morning,
bit-
afternoon,
she's a busy
evening,
gal,
yesterday,
right?
today.
Yeah. We found out last night. Did not get the rose, one of that rose. So now
So
it's down
dumb.
to 2 left. And yeah, so it was an emotional episode last night for a lot of us because I mean. And I love how you put it too, where you didn't want your family to hurt.
Yeah, that one killed me, you know, because when I was at
And
the
your friend-
hometown, just seeing the look in my kids' eyes and my sister, you know, it's going to make me cry. So, you know, just the fact that they were so invested with me, and I think they fell in love with Gerry a little bit too,
Yeah.
and to see the connection and see how great Gerry was with my grandkids and stuff. See, this is what I'm talking about. It's hard
Well-
to talk about. It was a very, very emotional time,
And I can tell you, as friends and family that were watching, it was hard for us because we didn't want to see you hurt.
I know, and that's
you
what
didn't
I
want to
know
see.
about
You didn't want us
Yeah.
to hurt.
I
We didn't want to
know.
see you hurt. And
I
when we
know.
did see you hurt, it was like I'm sitting there, I'm laying in my bed, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
I
my
know.
God, just like your neighbor. I
Yeah.
wanted to call and be like, can I drive over and just give you a hug?
I just need to
They'd
hug
be
you.
there for you.
They
because,
didn't show it, but that's what I said in the limo. I was like, my listeners are going to be so brokenhearted, and I feel so bad for them. Like
But
I
we're so
want,
proud
I
of
want,
you, too,
oh,
at the
thanks.
same
But I was
time.
like, oh no, I'm making the whole community
No.
because it's different than maybe other communities. Where this community, and I don't know, but
Sure.
we are a very, very close
Oh,
community.
absolutely.
And because of what we do for a living, and we see all these people all the time, they listen to us every day, and it's like they know me so well.
Absolutely.
So they know. Oh my God,
They're
Faith's-
very invested.
Right. They just
right?
they're like my friends. So
Yeah.
so it's like it's going to kill my listeners. This is really super sad. you know?
No,
But-
only for your heart. You know, only for your heart. And I think that the real people who know you, who understand, who love you,
they'll always know I'll be okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
they know you're going to be okay. And there's not a hate for Gerry. There's a hate that people get invested because we understand our listeners are very invested in our lives.
Yeah.
So they care. And when we're sad, they're sad. When we're angry, they're angry. So they wanted this moment for you.
Yeah.
Right. But like you said, they also know that you are resilient and strong and not to be worried. And
yeah,
so
absolutely.
it leads me into, I told you, I have a couple questions, like
Yes.
real questions that one is for me as a woman, being in a group, I don't have a whole lot of women friends. Very select few that understand me because I always find that they be catty and manipulative. And I'm just like, I can't do that with you. Did you make any real connections with any of these women?
I really did.
Yeah.
I'm with you though, Jen. I totally get that one. And so I do, I have some good boundaries when it comes to that. And I think that I like to learn about the women individually and learn to love them individually, because sometimes you get women in a group and it can get ugly. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
So anytime and these women are truly lovely, but they're human too.
Sure.
And because of the state of emotions and who they're rooming with or roommating with, there can be some of that kind of thing. So I think the connections that I made were solid and were good. And I literally loved every single one of them. They're each amazing women. There were, that being said, women that I felt closer to or loved more than others. You know?
Absolutely.
And then it was funny because some of them, they rubbed me the wrong way right out the gate. I ended up loving the most, which was my lesson in that. So all during the show, all the time, aha moments, light bulb moments where I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? Well, look at that. Yeah, because the one woman that I thought, oh my gosh, she's going to drive me crazy. And I don't really like her right now. Yeah. She's one that I feel so much love for. And I feel like she doesn't really like me all that well. So that's another thing. Like, how is it that I can love some people that really don't even like me?
Sure.
But I have saw something in them that I admire and that I appreciate. And I'll just tell you who that is. That's Ellen. The beautiful blonde. Oh my gosh. From New York. Yeah. She was always going, you don't know about the show. You never watched it. You don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, tell me what I'm supposed to talk about that, because you know she's always telling me who I was. So she drove me nuts, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then later, oh my God, I just fell in love with her. She's the sweetest, most genuine, warm, soft-hearted person. It broke my heart when she didn't get the rose.
Yeah.
Because I knew how important it was for her. And so I keep trying to sort of reach out to her. And she's like, yeah, love you too, girlfriend. Like, go away.
It's a totally different perspective, because I'm going to tell you that most people were cheering when she didn't get the rose.
Really?
Yeah, because she just came across as very
abrupt,
catty,
kind of.
and very abrasive.
But she's a beautiful, beautiful soul. And Susan, everybody knows Susan is a beautiful soul. And she truly is a crack up.
She seems funny.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many women that I learned so much about that I felt close to. The risk going into that is that you start to get close to someone and then they leave.
Oh, yeah.
And so your safety is gone. Yeah. So I ended up falling in love with the whole crew, you know, the production people, you know, because I think they felt safe. I knew they would be there.
Oh, gotcha.
But when I got close to everybody else, they were going home and then I was crying, you know. So, strange what we do.
Okay. This is a big one.
Okay.
It is the talk of the town, and I think so many people I've had conversations with about this before we knew about last night, because even though we know you, we weren't allowed to know anything. And I don't know how many times we explained to people,
man, people kept asking.
We don't know. We've tried. We don't know.
Yeah.
She can't tell us anything. And I'm not going to put her in a position where she has to say something or has to tell me, Jen, okay, enough, right? But the big talk is that you are the absolute shoe-in to be the first Golden Bachelorette.
I still can tell you nothing because I don't even know.
I mean, don't know.
The one thing that I will tell you, so I wasn't a Bachelor watcher because I don't have network TV.
Right.
You know, I had no time to watch TV.
Ride
so
horses.
I really knew nothing about the show going in. I still pretty much know nothing. I know what we did. I finally came home and watched the Bachelorette charity season, and I was like, oh, that's what they were doing. Oh,
okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
But the thing is we don't know. I don't even know how that Bachelorette stuff works, nor do I even know if there is going to be a Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
There will be, and you will
I've
be
gotta
asked.
think there's got to be.
You are a fan favorite, even though I know you because you know,
okay,
that's
but
just
let
part
me
of your
just
modesty.
say this, because I've heard that you're a fan favorite. I'm like, hello, you guys are looking at my screen. You're looking at my people. You're looking
I'm watching the feeds that are coming up from people watching this right now that are saying.
But those are my people, right? Those are
not
our
all
people.
of them. Not all of them.
So
if you can get onto all of the major media networks that post about the show, right? Throughout every single week. And I'm talking about all the major networks and all the TMZs, all of those things.
Yeah, see a lot of Team Faith.
Right? And it is Team Faith, Team Faith, Team Faith. They love you because you show up the way you are. So the question is, if they say, you know what, we do want to do a spinoff, we know that the world was disappointed when Faith went home because everybody thought you were the shoo-in. Like, honestly, it was the whole, for sure, she's the one.
Yeah.
And so when you went home, people were so invested and distraught and heartbroken that it has come up that, you know, if they approached you and said, would you
would I
be
do it?
interested in doing this? You know, Adam and I talked about it, watching everything Gerry's gone through, the heartbreak, the making the decisions, how hard it was. Do you think you could do that if they approached you with it?
So I don't ever know if I can do anything until I do it. I don't ever ask myself
love
those
that.
things. I just don't. I don't know. I think for me, I always think, and this is just the way I've lived my life, as you know, you follow your heart, you go for your passions, you do what you love. And when opportunities arise, if they feel right, even if, like, just when the school teaching job came up, I knew, I'm like, God, this is going to make me suffer because I have to go get my teaching credentials and blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, there's certain things you say yes to. You don't know the outcome. You don't know why. You don't know the how. But you're going to do it because it feels right in the moment. So the way I feel about the crew that I just worked with for the past month, I love them so much.
Yeah.
I trust them. I trust the process because
Yeah.
I never, ever would have guessed that I could fall in love in a month.
Right.
I would have never guessed that I just would have never been able to guess the whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So my first impression would be, of course I would do it because I'd pretty much do anything they asked me to do right
Gotcha.
now.
I love that.
love them.
Gotcha.
The other part of it is the process that I believe in, but would I be terrified and would I think it would be hard and would I have struggles with trying to even figure out who would take care of my animals? And I've got a great,
I was gonna
you know what I
say.
mean? Like all those
Yeah.
things. Would I have a job when I got
Yeah,
back? You know,
yeah.
that
Yes.
kind of a thing. So
Even though he gets to make the decision, yes.
right?
I'm
Adam's
saying
like,
that he doesn't have a
finally,
choice.
Let's get rid of her. Gosh,
No.
I could be the oldest person on the radio, but again, the answer is yes. But I would be terrified, and I would be like, "Is there any way I can help pick the 25 men?" You know, but here's my other thought. You know me. I'm not a flashy person. I don't look great in clothes. I'm not into fashion. I'm not into makeup and hair and all the things that they, you know,
that they have there.
Right.
That's part
and
of the
it's
Bachelor.
just not necessarily me.
Right.
So I would think they would choose somebody that was more of all that for TV. I don't know, though. I really don't know what goes into their
But
decisions.
it's, you know what? Even though I'm going to just say, aside of the fact that you are stunningly beautiful, that's not even the factor of it. Your heart, your personality, the depth of who you are, that's what comes through. And that's what they want.
Yeah.
You literally were able to come through that television and show every single person in America who Faith is. And that resonated with so many people because you're so real.
Yeah.
And they don't get that a lot on television anymore. And so I don't think there's any question that you are the shoe-in to be that person.
I just have to figure out, what does this mean to be real? I don't know how to be unreal. Like,
Well, then
how
don't
do
try to
we
figure
do
anything
that?
Don't try
out.
to figure anything
Nope,
out.
just keep it how it
doing
is.
what it is.
Yep.
I don't know if she could be the next Golden Bachelorette, though.
Why?
Well, she's dating Brock O'Hearn. So her
I
and Brock,
did hear
her
that.
and Brock have been
I saw
dating
some
and they've been
photos.
going. Yeah, they've been.
Stop. Can I tell you?
Please
Okay.
tell us about this Brock O'Hearn lunch dates.
I flew to LA because, here I am. I'm this age. I have a few things on my bucket list. One of them is to see Daryl Hall in concert. I
Okay.
have wanted to see him my whole life. I'm a musician. I love his mic technique. I love his voice. I'm not going to lie. I have a secret crush on Daryl Hall. I have my whole life.
Gotcha.
Sure.
So I love the guy. I'm like, I am going. I don't care how much it costs. I'm so broke right
Good
now.
for
I haven't
you.
worked for months, really. I quit teaching. I'm like, you know what? I don't care how much it costs. I'm going to go see him in concert. So I fly to LA. My friend comes with me, and we're having the time of our life. We're just meeting all these people and having so much fun. People off the street, Hollywood Boulevard, they're like, Faith. They're
Yeah.
running up to, just so sweet. But anyway, somebody suggests, go to this one place. The driver drops us off. We're going to do lunch on this beautiful roof in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting down, and me and Jeanette, my friend, are talking, and we're drinking wine. And but pause right there. Let me back up a little bit. We're all on Facebook. I see this guy on Facebook 3-4 years ago, and he looks like Jason Momoa a little bit.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
it caught my eye. Then I thought, look at this guy. He kind of looks like my son, Nick. You know, if Nick grew out his hair
Yeah.
and beefed up a little more,
Okay.
this could be my son. I'm like, look at his mouth. That is Nick's mouth. Oh my God, his eyes are. So
I'm looking at my son right now.
Right. So I'm sending pictures to my kids. Who does this look like? Everybody's like, oh, that looks like Nick on steroids. and my son is already freakishly strong. So they look a lot alike. So he's been a subject of conversation around our house for 3 years.
Gotcha.
So anyway, back to the rooftop. We're sitting there, and you know how there's a bench along, and then there's all the little square tables.
Yeah.
So somebody's sitting next to you 7.5 inches away.
Right.
So this guy scoots in, he sits down, a guy sits across from him, and we're like, oh, how you doing, you guys? And he leans over and shakes my hand, and I go, hi, Brock. You know?
Wow.
And he's like, hi. And then the guy across from him goes, well, hi, Faith. And I'm like, he's like, so we start talking.
Oh,
so
my
we
goodness.
literally spend all
That's
afternoon
nuts.
talking about our spiritual awakening, talking about quantum physics, talking about the interesting things about connections and life and love. And, you know, we just have this amazing conversation. And we get up and we're leaving, and Brock's hugging me, and we exchange phone numbers. I'm like, you seriously have to meet my kids.
Yeah.
They are exactly like you.
Right.
Like, you could be my third son. I mean, this is the conversations that are going on.
crazy. Yeah.
Completely innocent.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we got to take a selfie. So we
Yeah.
take a selfie. And I just right as I'm walking out by the pool, I'm texting. This man is a beautiful soul inside and out. Just spent my lunchtime with him. He's just such a great guy, whatever.
Yeah.
I close up my phone. I don't even look back at it. And when I do look back at it, it's a spoiler. Somebody in the press had gotten it. Bare-chested Brock next to me. Faith Martin dates Brock O'Hearn. I'm horrified. I'm shaking. I'm like that poor kid,
It's
right?
just- yeah,
You know, like-
absolutely.
so I'm texting him, Brock. Oh my God,
I'm so
sorry. I'm standing here going, what do I do? I need to call legal team. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. So the general manager, Vaughn, he was the general manager that was sitting across from Brock. And he was the general manager of the Hilltop restaurant. He picked up our lunch. He bought all our drinks.
Wow.
So sweet. So I contact Vaughn. I'm like, oh my God, Vaughn, I can't get a hold of Brock, and I don't know what to
do.
say.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. And he goes, don't worry. I reached out to him, whatever. So Brock's texting me back. He's laughing. He's like, it's no big deal. Don't worry about it. But I had to call legal and say,
What the heck's happening? What do I do? Yeah.
I don't know
Oh
what
my
to do here.
gosh.
You forget that the whole world is watching and that they take
Absolutely.
every little thing and run with it, right?
Of course.
So yeah, that was how that happened.
Wow.
Completely innocent.
So
Love
you're
the
not
guy,
dating
but-
Brock O'Hearn.
No.
Okay, you heard it
No.
first right here. Breaking news.
And then I'm going to go ahead and hit send on the Team Faith Golden Bachelorette
Gotcha.
shirts.
Now you can hit that.
I can
Yeah.
hit, I can
Thank
hit
you.
send
Yeah, we
on
got to
that.
get that going
Perfect.
too. So
Because
absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he's 32 years old.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's gorgeous, sexy as hell.
Is that a problem?
Yeah.
32,
But
is that a problem? I'm
That's a
guessing?
problem. Yeah, you know me. I don't like to go younger.
It's same with this one over
Yeah,
here.
I do not like younger at all.
No,
Nope.
I need to. Yeah, but he is a beautiful soul.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
he literally could be.
And
my
I
son.
love that you got to make that connection with somebody
Oh,
like
so
that.
I gotta tell
crazy.
you. Let's just go there for a second. You know, people say Hollywood people and blah blah blah, or all
Yeah.
this and all that. The creators in LA and Hollywood. It's the creative, interesting persona that I love so much that I can get deep feeling and that are interesting and fascinating to me and so caring and loving and yeah, especially the younger generations. It's
Yeah.
just wonderful to meet all the people that I've met.
We did have one question that came in from a listener of ours, Big T. Wanted to know some of the things that you are proud of having gone through this.
Okay,
That's a great.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a good question.
Yeah.
I have lived alone for so long. The thought of bunking with all these women, I was
Yeah.
like, seriously? I don't know if I can do that.
Like, I'm gonna go
And-
sleep out by the pool.
Yeah,
I'll be
and I
good.
actually wanted to.
Yeah.
I said, "Can I sleep outside? I'm super fine just sleeping
Yeah,
on the
it's
balcony."
warm
And
and
they're
who
like,
cares?
"Faith, there's tarantulas out there." I'm like, "I don't care. I don't care. I just really would rather sleep outside." But you know what? I loved my roommates. I slept perfectly well. So I'm proud of myself that I always pride myself on my adaptability.
Yeah.
So I like that. I also am proud of myself that I really let go of caring about how I looked. Not that because I know
Sure.
we all know I don't care about that in my town.
Right.
But being on TV, somebody had said to me once. They said when we were in radio, Adam, you'll remember we had to post all the time.
All the time.
Somebody one time said to me, Faith, how do you get over like knowing that you're on for everybody to see and you don't always look that great? And I was like, yeah, because there's so much of me that doesn't look great out there. And I'm like, well, I thought about it like this. I thought, have you ever not liked someone because they didn't look perfect? And she looked at me and she goes, no, I guess not. And I go, okay, then. Like, and if somebody did like me because I didn't look perfect, then I probably wouldn't like them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, no, we are human and somebody goes, "Oh, it's a bad angle," or I just looked ugly that day. You know,
I could have just looked ugly too.
and it's okay, right? It's okay. Like the world doesn't stop turning if you don't look good. The world doesn't stop turning if I play music and I suck, you know, or like I'm learning. It's like the world has been so accepting of me just being who I am. And that's, I guess, why I do it. So that's what I'm proud of.
Well, we absolutely love you. Thank you for taking time and doing this with us this morning. I know you got to go home because you got to come back. We didn't have the bunk set up for you to take a nap before your afternoon shift, but wish you nothing but the best. We can't wait to see you on the Golden Bachelorette. That's not official, by the way, just Adam and Jen's. We can't make it official. We're putting it out there.
I can't make it official. Who's going to come after me?
I'm saying ABC hasn't made it official.
We're
putting it out
guys,
there.
Well,
we're just letting them know as they're watching right now.
Exactly.
So listen, y'all, if you're smart, this is your girl.
Continue to follow the Golden Bachelor on ABC. Again, thank you, Faith. We're going to wrap up live on the video on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks to everybody watching there as well.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes. All right. We got to start 94 in a row. A little late for that, but you know
whatever.
what?
It's worth it.
We do what we want.
That's right.